Regina Green. We got to know her vaguely over many intervals. She'd stop politely, scrunch her face adoringly at our small dog, demurely ask if she might give him some treats from her butterscotch leather handbag. She'd never presumed to pet him, or pat him on his head. Only after many such occasions, countless times, as she gained confidence enough to stroke him lightly, scrunching up her face with an expression of sheer adoration. So prim, so thin, always wearing the same smart yellow shoes and caramel-coloured overcoat. She seems out of another time, sometime in the late 70s. Hers are halcyon courtesies. I said to our dog to be grateful to the nice lady, and we learned her surname was Green, Mrs. Green, as we eventually addressed her, to which she recoiled ever so slightly, correcting us. Not Mrs., more bashful than irritated, Miss Green. Then adding, I'm an old maid. Such an antiquated phrase, but befitting for this out-of-time spinster. Then we learned a little later that her first name was Regina, again distinguished old-fashioned. Apparently Miss Green lives alone in a small flat with nothing but a budgerigar to keep her company because her landlord won't allow her a dog or cat. Spindly, flitting spinster bird in a gilded cage is Regina Green. And we're told she has a brother who visits her sometimes, but that he can't put up with her for long, for if he does he feels like he's stuffed in a cage with the budgerigar. But it's strange to think of his shyly flitting sister as being anything other than gently serene. At least that's our impression of Regina Green. Every day without fail, unless it's too rainy or blustery, she walks the 7 avenues from her flat to town and back for a coffee, sat on her own at a table in the local cafe, perched prim in a caramel or camel overcoat, small cream-coloured purse clasped by her side. She sips her beige latte and avoids every gaze. This is her daily treat, the only moment in the day that she's surrounded by other people, familiar strangers, among whom she feels somehow safe, freed of herself for at least half an hour as she watches, while looking away. An ever so polite and softly spoken solipsist. Sometimes we wonder whether we imagine her, as no one else ever seems to see her or acknowledge her existence. So we muse that she may be a phantasm, or our own unassuming guardian angel. A ghost of a lady from long ago who only we see, well, at least from some decades back, since she seems from another time, pre-79, when people were less defined, a little out of focus, more works in progress than finished products, sentient experiments on a post-war progressive spectrum, before the 80s manufacture and streamlining of human personalities and pedicure. The other day a mutual acquaintance related that Regina was in tears, at least the intimation of tears, because her landlord had increased her rent, meaning a few less coffees each week, either that or the unthinkable, to be in arrears. In the meantime she'll carry on as normal, sipping her daily latte treat while trying not to be seen, happily trapped in her ritual and routine. In any case, there's nothing to escape for Regina Green. She'll perch herself, skinny-limbed, long fingers clasped to her handbag, in the invisible budgie cage of her childless, husbandless, unvisited dotage. She complains her varicose hands are cold, holding them flat, long pianistic fingers. I'm dying from the hands down, she says. I'm dying from the hands down, and laughs.